I don't know. I like seeing the small tire cars win.
Oh, it is impressive.
I got a warm fuzzy feeling when a small tire car gaps a big tire car.
I think the reality is these tracks around here are a small tire car, and good luck trying to get as Devin would say, a big floppy tire down one of these tracks.
And you got to give Lutz credit. His car had been sitting there in the shop for years. And then they pulled it out and redid everything just to come to Sick Week. So it's not like he had a dialed-in car or anything. They just went for it.
Yeah.
Which takes a lot of guts to just be like, oh, we'll just try it out, I guess. We'll just go for it.
Yeah, and I think, through No Prep Kings and stuff, he had learned more about different surfaces and stuff, but it's still different. And good on him for showing up, too, I think some people who are, in front of their keyboards don't realize that, when people like Jeff Lutz or Garrett or yourself show up to these events, it really helps the promoters. I know for Matt and June, when Garrett shows up to an event, they don't have to pay for any track rentals because there's enough people show up at the gate that helps with that. So, I'm all about keeping the promoters in good standings. So when, if Garrett gets in at the last minute, you ain't going to see me raising any flags. It's like, we all compete to get in. But at the same time, these guys are spending a lot of money for these events. So it's pretty cool when guys
I don't get, I guess I'm on the other side of it, but I understand when there's like a ticket handed to somebody that is like people want to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
People want to see Lutz. So, if he gets a last-minute ticket to come in, nobody should have a problem with that. We should all be excited for that because as a racer, you also want to race in front of a full crowd. And if Lutz helps fill up those stands, that's great because nothing like making a pass with the bleachers full. That's that's what we want. That's peak awesome. And especially watching all of Sick Week, watching these full tracks at every event and the pits were flooded with fans talking to everybody. That's cool. That's that shows how awesome drag racing is and how awesome these drag and drives are. And if somebody shows up to watch Lutz and then they end up going and talking to somebody else that they never saw before, that's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, I think I'm a perfect example of that. I'm from the middle of nowhere in Canada, come down to these events, but after Derek Putnam calls me, the Canadian Chuck Norris every time, and then, people says that I've driven this thing all the way from Canada. I got to get a shirt that says, yes, I drove it all the way from Canada because, or yes, I'm that guy, because I bet you, I don't know, it felt like 1,000 people came up and said, "Did you drove? Are you the Canadian that drove this all the way from Canada? You're that guy?" And I'm like, "Yep, I'm that guy." You don't have
a secret truck and trailer waiting on the, waiting in Florida at the edge of it, and you just kind of secretly drive it in.
Well, it's funny. Even after listening to the podcast with Wes Buck and yourself, I thought, I gotta start posting more and this time, I basically tried to post a little bit every day just on Facebook and stuff. And so I think people realized that, he actually drives it. Starts out in the snow and drives it all the way. And it's really far. People think, they just go to Canada north of here. And it's no, you got to drive all the way west.
Well, I was keeping up with your whole trip down because it's interesting seeing it's crazy seeing that even when you type it in Google Maps, they break it up.
Yeah.
They don't even give you a full breakdown. They're like, it takes one day to get to here and then another day there. I'm like, they don't even want to give you the full
I was showing some people when you do it on Apple Maps, it pulls up the globe. And you can see the round Earth because it's round. And it's pretty funny when you pull it up and it pulls the globe up and then it's this is from one
end to stretch the map in a weird way. It's are you sure?
Yeah. Did you make a mistake?
Yeah. Because even truck drivers don't even do that. They hand off and as they go. But it's cool. And shout out to Derek Putnam and Adam Dory because they did an awesome job keeping everybody informed and talking about every single car, not just the highlights of who and what. And Derek is an awesome announcer. He does a really good job at highlighting every driver like they are the star of the whole show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's really cool to see, and gets the fans really hyped and stuff, and especially because there's a live feed that people are trying to keep up with and all that. It's just cool. It's cool that it's Tom Bailey's built such an awesome team.
You know, I think he was focused on Sick the Mag right off the bat with, it's like, I'm going to feature every car that competes. It's not just me or, you know, yeah, it's really helped. I know, you know, even for me, when I, you know, need new shocks or stuff, you know, people are starting to get to know me, and it's because of all of this, right? It's because Lutz shows up at the track, and you know, they're watching Lutz, but they're hearing about, you know, the Canadian Chuck Norris. Yeah, it's just it helps, right?
Yeah, it gets people in the door. That's the goal, and like that's the same with like No Prep Kings. Like it gets so many people in the door into drag racing, and how many people followed Lutz from No Prep Kings to drag and drive, and then will follow a drag and drive to, you know, small tire racing with Jimmy Dale or something like that.
Yeah,
like it's
totally.
just kind of, it grows the whole community in an awesome way. Guys, thank you for tuning in to the Bogetti Clips YouTube channel. For the full podcast, check us out on Bogetti Studios YouTube and all your audio platforms. Also, hit that subscribe button to not miss out on any of the new Bogetti clips coming up.